Welcome, seekers of truth, to a journey beyond the veil of our everyday existence. In this video, we are going to explore a profound question, one that has lingered in the hearts and minds of those who seek to understand the deeper mysteries of life. Could this be your last reincarnation? Imagine for a moment that you've lived countless lives, experienced joy, sorrow, love, and loss over many lifetimes, all leading to this point, this final journey on Earth. The idea that this life could be your last isn't just a hopeful fantasy. It's a realization that comes to those who have reached a state of spiritual maturity, who have learned the lessons they were meant to learn, and who are now ready to move on to something far greater than this material world. Number 1. The absence of children. A soul untethered. Let's begin with one of the most significant signs, the absence of children. In our society, having children is often seen as a natural step in life, a way to leave a legacy, to continue one's lineage. For many, the idea of having children is intertwined with purpose and identity. But what if you feel no such drive? What if the idea of having children never resonated with you? Or you found yourself in circumstances where children simply never came into your life? This isn't merely about circumstances or choices. It could be a reflection of your soul's journey. For those nearing their final incarnation, the absence of children can signify a release from earthly attachments. Children tie us to the physical world, grounding us in responsibilities and concerns that often extend beyond our own lives. But when a soul is preparing to transcend this plane, these earthly ties may no longer be necessary. Consider the possibility that your soul has reached a level of understanding and detachment where its mission no longer involves nurturing new life in the physical form. Instead, your mission may be more focused on the spiritual realm, where you're meant to guide, teach, and inspire others, rather than create new earthly bonds. Why this matters? This absence doesn't mean a lack of love or connection. In fact, it often points to a deep, universal love that transcends personal ties. Your soul is focusing on the broader, more expansive mission of contributing to the collective consciousness, rather than being bound by the personal responsibility of raising a family. This could be a sign that you're ready to move beyond this earthly existence and into a new realm of spiritual evolution. Ego dissolution, the quieting of the self. The second sign is a profound one, perhaps the most challenging to achieve in any lifetime. The dissolution of the ego. We live in a world that constantly reinforces the importance of the self, the I that seeks recognition, validation, and power. But what happens when the I begins to fade? When the need to be seen, heard, and acknowledged no longer drives your actions? For many, the ego is the loudest voice in the room, the force that propels us to achieve, to conquer, to prove our worth. But for those on their last reincarnation, the ego begins to quiet down. This doesn't happen overnight. It's the result of lifetimes of learning, experiencing, and realizing that the ego, while necessary for navigating the physical world, is not the true essence of who we are. The process of ego dissolution. Imagine yourself standing on the edge of a vast ocean. The ocean represents the collective consciousness, the infinite mind of the universe. The ego is like a small boat, navigating the waters, sometimes braving storms, other times gliding smoothly. But as you stand there, you realize that you are not the boat. You are the ocean. The boat is just a temporary vessel, a tool for navigating the physical world. The ocean, vast and deep, represents your true self, your soul. As you near your final incarnation, you begin to identify less with the boat and more with the ocean. The need to assert yourself diminishes, replaced by a quiet understanding that you are part of something much larger, much more profound. The ego no longer drives you. Instead, you are driven by a sense of unity, of connection with all that is. Practical signs of ego dissolution. In practical terms, this might manifest as a lack of interest in competition or recognition. You may find that titles, accolades, and social status no longer hold the appeal they once did. Instead, you're drawn to activities and experiences that foster connection, compassion, and understanding. You may also find that you're more willing to listen than to speak, more interested in understanding others than in being understood. This doesn't mean that you lack a sense of self or that you don't care about your own needs. Rather, it's a shift in perspective, a realization that the self is just one part of a much larger whole. As you let go of the ego, you begin to experience a deeper sense of peace and fulfillment, one that comes not from external validation, but from an inner knowing of your true nature. Number 3. Detachment from wealth. Finding true richness. The third sign is one that may be particularly challenging in our materialistic society. A detachment from wealth. We are taught from a young age that success is measured by the accumulation of wealth, that money is the key to happiness and security. But for those nearing their final reincarnation, this belief begins to lose its grip. As you progress on your spiritual journey, you may find that the pursuit of wealth no longer brings the satisfaction it once did. This isn't to say that you reject money or live in poverty. Rather, it's a shift in priorities. You begin to see money for what it is, a tool rather than a goal. The endless pursuit of wealth becomes less important as you start to value experiences, relationships, and personal growth over material accumulation. Understanding true wealth. True wealth, you begin to realize, isn't about the number in your bank account or the possessions you own. It's about your state of being. Your health, your relationships, your sense of purpose and fulfillment. You start to value time over money, quality over quantity, and spiritual richness over material wealth. This detachment from wealth is a sign that your soul is ready to move beyond the material plane. You've learned the lessons of abundance and scarcity, of generosity and greed, and you're ready to apply these lessons in a higher realm. You no longer see wealth as the ultimate goal, but rather as a means to an end that involves growth, connection, and contribution. Practical manifestations. In practical terms, this detachment might manifest as a shift in your lifestyle. You may find yourself downsizing, simplifying, or choosing to spend your money on experiences rather than possessions. You might feel less driven to climb the corporate ladder or accumulate wealth for its own sake, and more interested in using your resources to help others, to create, or to explore. You may also notice a change in how you view financial challenges. Instead of seeing them as a threat, you may begin to see them as opportunities for growth, for learning, and for developing resilience. This shift in perspective is a clear sign that you're nearing the end of your earthly journey, ready to transcend the material world and move into a higher state of being. Number 4. A deep love for prayer and connection with the divine. The spiritual lifeline. The fourth sign is one that is deeply personal and often transformative. A deep love for prayer and connection with the divine. For those on their last reincarnation, this connection isn't just a part of life, it is life. The need for this connection becomes as essential as the air you breathe. Prayer, in this context, is not just about reciting words or following rituals. It's about cultivating a deep, personal relationship with the divine, with the source of all creation. This connection goes beyond any particular religion or spiritual practice. It's about feeling a direct, unbreakable bond with the universe, with God, with the infinite. The nature of this connection often manifests as a deep sense of peace and comfort, a feeling of being held and supported by something greater than yourself. You may find that you are drawn to prayer or meditation not out of obligation, but out of a genuine desire to connect with the divine. This connection becomes your refuge, your source of strength and guidance, especially in times of difficulty. You may also find that your prayers become less about asking for things and more about expressing gratitude, love, and devotion. The desire for material things diminishes, replaced by a longing for spiritual growth, for understanding, and for union with the divine. Practical expressions of this love. In practical terms, this love for prayer might manifest as a daily practice of meditation, mindfulness, or contemplation. You may find that you're drawn to nature, to quiet spaces where you can feel the presence of the divine more acutely. You might also notice a deepening of your intuition, a sense that you are being guided by a higher power in your decisions and actions. This connection often brings with it a sense of purpose and direction. You may find that your life begins to align more closely with your spiritual values, that you're drawn to activities and people who support your spiritual growth. This is a clear sign that your soul is preparing to move beyond the earthly plane, ready to enter into a new phase of existence where this connection with the divine becomes even more central. Number 5. A sense of fulfillment at any age. Completion of the soul's mission. The final sign is perhaps the most profound. A deep sense of fulfillment, regardless of your age or circumstances. This isn't the kind of fulfillment that comes from achieving a specific goal or reaching a milestone. It's a soul-deep contentment, a feeling that you've done what you came here to do, that your mission on earth is complete. This sense of fulfillment often comes with a feeling of peace, of acceptance of life as it is. You may find that you are no longer striving or pushing for more, that you're content with what you have, with who you are. This doesn't mean that you stop growing or evolving. Rather, it means that you've reached a point where you feel at peace with your journey, with the lessons you've learned, and with the person you've become. Signs of this fulfillment. This fulfillment can manifest in many ways. You might find that you're more focused on the present moment, less concerned with the past or the future. You may feel a deep sense of gratitude for your life, for the experiences you've had, and for the people you've met along the way. You might also find that you're more interested in giving back, in sharing your wisdom and experiences with others, rather than accumulating more for yourself. This sense of fulfillment is a sign that your soul has completed its mission on Earth, that you've learned the lessons you were meant to learn, and that you're ready to move on to the next phase of your journey. This isn't about giving up or resigning yourself to fate. It's about embracing the fullness of your life, recognizing the beauty and meaning in every moment, and being at peace with whatever comes next. Embracing the journey ahead. As we come to the end of this exploration, I invite you to reflect on your own journey. Do any of these signs resonate with you? Have you felt a shift in your priorities, in your sense of self, or in your connection with the divine? If so, you might be nearing the end of your earthly journey, ready to transcend this world and enter into a new phase of existence. But remember, this isn't the end. Far from it. It's a new beginning, a continuation of your soul's journey in a higher realm. The lessons you've learned, the experiences you've had, and the connections you've made will all carry forward, guiding you into the next phase of your evolution. So if you feel a sense of peace, of fulfillment, of readiness, embrace it. Know that you are exactly where you need to be, that your soul is on the right path, and that the journey ahead, while unknown, is filled with infinite possibilities. Before we part, I encourage you to like this video if it resonated with you, share it with others who might be on a similar journey, and subscribe to our channel for more explorations into the mysteries of the soul, the afterlife, and the spiritual journey. Your support helps us continue to create content that inspires and uplifts. And remember, you are never alone on this journey. We are all connected, all part of the same infinite consciousness, all on our own paths toward the same ultimate destination. Until we meet again, may your journey be filled with light, love, and peace.